We're tracking new information in an officer-involved shooting. We'll show you what we've learned.
The names of the two people killed in a Montgomery County crash have been released. Now their friends are talking about the loss.
The University of Kentucky is getting set to welcome its students back in style. Coming up, we'll take you through two of its brand new dorms.
This is WKYT News at 5.
Good afternoon to you. There's new information today about a deadly officer-involved shooting.
State police shot and killed 34-year-old Juan Godines in Scott County last night following a chase. Police say that he ran from them after they tried to serve a warrant on him. WKYT's Hillary Thornton shows us what court documents are revealing about this case. It's our top story at 5.
This was the scene after the chase ended along Midway Road, ultimately leading to a deadly trooper-involved shooting. It all started with this arrest warrant out of Franklin County. In it, troopers say 34-year-old Juan Godines hit his wife repeatedly, refusing to let her leave the home, pointing a gun at her, threatening to kill her if she left him. State police say as they went to arrest Godines on those charges, he spotted them taking off, hitting multiple law enforcement vehicles in the process, eventually crashing near the Scott and Woodford County line, where he then ran off towards Elkhorn Creek. And through court documents here in Scott County where that chase ended, we're learning much more about what happened down by the creek in the moments just before Godines was shot. In the court documents, investigators explaining troopers watched Godines stumble into the creek as they demanded to see his hands. They say he failed to do so, instead regaining his balance, raising a firearm in their direction. That is when state police say they shot and killed the suspect.
Yes, we were scared. Yes, it's not uncommon. Occasionally we'll hear people hunting back there, but this sounded way more than just a hunter. It sounded back and forth.
State police say at this point they are unsure if Godines fired any shots after pointing his gun at troopers. They say that is all part of their ongoing investigation. Meanwhile, as is procedure, the two troopers involved in the shooting are on administrative leave. In Scott County, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Police say Godines is from South Carolina. We found court documents there showing a lengthy list of charges, including domestic violence, assault, and battery. Investigators have identified the victims of a weekend crash. Frank Fortune and his daughter, Sherry Lynn Fortune Shippawick, died when their pickup crashed into the back of a semi on Interstate 64 in Montgomery County on Sunday. Fortune was a well-known member of the community there. WKYT's Victor Puente shows us how he's being remembered.
The Montgomery County Sheriff says the investigation into this crash is ongoing. The people who knew Frank Fortune say his death is a big loss to this community. Sunday afternoon, a crash between a pickup and a semi shut down I-64. This morning, the Montgomery County coroner released the identities of the two people killed in that crash. 57-year-old Sherry Lynn Shippawick and her father, 77-year-old Frank Fortune. Fortune was well known in Montgomery County. He had helped start Mountain Town Machining almost 40 years ago. His stepdaughter posted these pictures to her Facebook page and said he'd been the only father she had ever known. Shippawick had recently moved back to Kentucky to live with her father after living in Florida. Fortune's employees say he was still active in the business, and they can't believe he's gone.
I was devastated, and we were all in shock. I mean, we just couldn't believe it, you know. We're still trying to grasp it all right now.
Sheriff Fred Shortridge said it's too early to know if there'll be any citations or charges because of that crash. In Montgomery County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Visitation for Fortune and Shippawick will be tomorrow night at the Tall Funeral Home in Mount Sterling. Their funeral will be held Thursday at 11. We have some showers and storms trying to pop up on the radar this afternoon.
It's all part of a tropical pattern bringing us a chance for rain rest of the week. WKYT meteorologist Jim Caldwell is tracking it all this afternoon. Jim?
And if you get caught in between those showers and thunderstorms, it will feel extremely uncomfortable, and that's what we had out there today with higher levels of humidity showing up. Thunderstorms are loaded up across Kentucky today, scattered and a little strong in certain areas. One of the stronger ones that we are tracking, you can see loads of lightning associated with it. It's moving just the south of Carlisle and north of Owensville at this point there into Bath County, and will continue working its way right right into Fleming County with loads of heavy rain and a lot of lightning progressing in that general area. So that's one of the stronger thunderstorms. We've got another that's into Woodford County, right along the Fayette County line, that's producing some heavier amounts of rain. Same thing going on in northern parts of Fayette County as well. And another good little shower into Irvin and also stretching back toward the south. Here's what we've got as we look at our breakdown the next few days here with our tropical issues. Same things we were talking about yesterday. Plenty of moisture in the air this week. The feels like temperature could very well approach 100 degrees. It did that a little earlier for some of us. And any thunderstorm that goes up could produce very heavy rainfall. Same thing we were talking about yesterday will continue into the weekend. I'll break it down with an hour-by-hour run, though, coming up in a few minutes.
4 people charged in 2 murders faced a judge this morning. Our county-by-county coverage begins in Lee County, where Anthony Taylor, Kevin Kindle, Wesley Johnson, and Cassandra White were all arraigned. State police say the group is involved in the murders of 28-year-old Billy Rourke and 36-year-old James Brown. Troopers found Rourke's body Friday and Brown's body on Saturday. White and Taylor are charged with murder. They're also charged with complicity to murder, all of them, along with Johnson and Kindle. A Clark County man accused of kidnapping his wife has pled not guilty. Jeffrey Rowland Sr. is accused of gagging and bounding his wife before torturing her for several hours last week. State police say the victim eventually alerted a gas station clerk who called 911. Troopers found the pair at the Thoroughbred Center where Rowland worked. The Winchester Sun reports he's back in court next Wednesday. In Boone County, the sheriff's office says the device caused a car to explode outside an apartment complex overnight. Investigators say the explosion blew parts of the car 100 feet away. Deputies don't think the victims were targeted, but they're investigating. No one, fortunately, was hurt.
Texas announced its first death related to the Zika virus today. The victim is a baby girl born in the Houston area several weeks ago. Health officials say the baby had birth defects, including microcephaly, and died shortly after birth. Her mother is from El Salvador and came to Houston during her second trimester.
We do not have any evidence of Zika in our local mosquitoes here. We want to emphasize that.
So far, Florida is the only state with Zika cases contracted from local mosquitoes. There have been no deaths there. Hillary Clinton is campaigning in Florida, the state with the most electoral votes up for grabs out of all of the battleground states. It's also the focus of a national health concern. And Donald Trump is facing some concerns of his own. Greg Boswell has today's Campaign 2016 headlines.
Hillary Clinton is in Miami, ground zero for the battle against the Zika virus in the U.S. Tuesday, she toured a health care clinic and called on Congress to step up funding.
I would very much urge the leadership of Congress to call people back for a special session and get a bill passed.
A new Quinnipiac poll shows Clinton and Trump neck and neck in Florida. She has a 4-point advantage in Ohio and is up 10 points in Pennsylvania. Donald Trump followed up his speech on the economy yesterday with a rally in Wilmington, North Carolina Tuesday.
The thing I'm doing, I'm cutting taxes big league, especially for the middle class and especially for businesses.
But Trump is facing criticism from 50 former national security officials who wrote this letter saying Donald Trump isn't qualified to be president or commander-in-chief. Jim Jeffrey, the deputy national security advisor to President George W. Bush, signed the letter.
As a president, we think that he would be the most reckless president in American history. Those are very strong words, but that's how at least I feel.
But Trump dismissed the group as the failed Washington elite who are jealous because he hasn't asked them for advice.
The old group was not doing it. Take a look at the Middle East. Take a look at the problems that we have. And the last people I want to use are the people that have been doing it for the last long period of time.
Trump says the people on the list helped start the war in Iraq and are responsible for the creation of ISIS. Craig Boswell, CBS News, the White House.
A recent Washington Post poll showed 67% of Americans surveyed say Trump does not have the temperament or personality to be president. Well, when students begin arriving on the UK campus later this month, some of them will be moving into some pretty modern accommodations.
To say the least, the university is getting ready to open 2 new residence halls. Our Mike Byer has a sneak peek.
I'm standing in between 2 brand new dorms on the University of Kentucky campus, which are sure to leave students in awe come Saturday. Students will first step foot into Holmes Hall and Boyd Hall Saturday. The two new residence halls house nearly 1,200 beds, each providing state-of-the-art features. Boyd Hall takes up nearly 200,000 square feet of the campus. The dorm will have many nice features, including 10 study rooms, 5 kitchens, and a classroom. Holmes Hall is even bigger. It covers nearly 250,000 square feet. It has 11 study rooms, 8 creative art studios, 5 kitchens, and an active learning space. Both halls have several spacious lounge areas and provide spectacular views of the UK campus. Building designers say each hall is unique in its own way.
Each building has its very own personality. It's very distinctive. No two buildings are alike. The design of each building is very different, from more of a transitional look to more of a very contemporary look.
Now these two brand new dorms will be move-in ready starting on Saturday. In Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
And the public's getting their peek at the new halls during an open house going on right now. It goes until 6 o'clock. 3 children fall from a Ferris wheel during a county fair. What investigators are doing to figure out why that happened.
Sleep deprivation can be a big problem for college students. We'll look at the health issues it can cause in better living.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
Here come the thunderstorms again, sweeping through the area. Heavy rain producers, and some of them are now producing a lot of lightning as well. Let's get right into it with our Defender Radar Network, as it's turning out to be an action-packed afternoon and evening period for us with these tropical thunderstorms that have been developing. Just look at the overall coverage. It's not impressive because it's not wall-to-wall, but inside of any one of these thunderstorms that you are seeing on Defender Radar Network could very well produce a very lot of rain in a short amount of time, maybe an inch, 2 inches, easily. They are just very favorable for that type of heavy rain development. The overall flow, you see, they come in from the south, and then they get about into central Kentucky, and they'll turn, and they'll have that more northeasterly turn by that point. So that's the general trend that we're watching with these showers and thunderstorms out there today. Heaviest and most intense one that I've been tracking, it's not a severe thunderstorm, but you certainly are experiencing some gusty winds, especially if you're in Flemingsburg right now. That wind is starting to drive in there out from the edge of this thunderstorm, and you're like, oh, something is definitely getting a little bit dicey out here, and that is it. It's this thunderstorm that is starting to sweep in from your south, and it will be right into Flemingsburg here shortly. From Georgetown and to northern parts of Fayette County and over into Woodford County, we are also tracking some heavier rain. Georgetown missed some of the heaviest stuff earlier. It kind of skirted them off toward the east. Now getting in on the heavy stuff there, as we are seeing a couple more pockets showing up into downtown Lexington as well. Look at this one that's approaching Irvin. Very heavy rain, lightning coming up all over the place there. Now getting a little more intense, and it'll also impact folks across parts of Madison County as well. And then we've got a couple more heavy rainmakers. That's all they are, at least at this point, into Pulaski County, and a little action there just north of London with another shower along I-75. All being fed in here from the south and around that area of low pressure. Scattering of showers and thunderstorms extend farther away from the low. You get on the other side of the low, and it's a little more organized, where they're seeing more consistent rainfall. We're tracking it scattered through the rest of the evening and into the nighttime, but it will die out as we head into the overnight hours. Temperatures only in the upper 70s tomorrow morning, and then we get into Wednesday, and we're going to crank these thunderstorms up again. Tropical nature to them, meaning they could be producing more heavy rainfall into your Wednesday. And then how about into Thursday and Friday? All good possibilities. Another system gets in here late in the weekend. That's when we bump the chances up again. So this pattern stays very active. And you can see a Midsummer Night's Run coming up as well on Saturday. Showers and thunderstorms there as well, guys. Just a mess across the board.
It's usually always pretty hot for that anyway, so then add that into it. It makes it extra interesting.
Yeah, it's going to it's just be so comfortable. Yeah.
We'll see you sprinting at the beginning.
Yeah, the other way.
There'll still be a ton of people out there doing it.
You better
they
believe
always
it,
do.
yeah.
Thanks.
Total of 3 collisions right now in Lexington, and it looks like we've got problems places we don't need them, like Versailles Road outbound at the Circle. There's a collision there that's impacting in an outbound Versailles Road, and Harrodsburg Road at Cave Hill just past Man o' War. Drive times, still a slow ride to Georgetown. To Winchester's about 26 minutes, 25 minutes to Richmond across the Clays Ferry Bridge. Now back to you in the studio.
It's a way for students to help students. How a cosmetology school is sending children back to school with a fresh look.
It's a warning for drivers, what deputies want them to do after a string of car break-ins. On WKYT News at 5:30.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
3 children remain in the hospital after falling from a Ferris wheel. That accident happened at the Greene County Fair in Greenville, Tennessee, about an hour northeast of Knoxville. One of those children suffered a head injury and is in the ICU. Police have started an investigation into what happened.
Our investigation last night, no one that was interviewed, and we did several interviews, no one indicated anything about seeing the ride rocking. We do know that there's information out there to the contrary, and we're trying to run that information down.
The fair rides have been closed for now. They will not reopen until they have been inspected. A Kansas City newspaper is reporting a water slide where a 10-year-old died had not been inspected since 2014. Caleb Schwab died from a neck injury while riding the Verroot water slide Sunday. 2 to 3 people ride it at once, secured by Velcro straps. One rider says his belt came off while on the slide about 2 weeks ago. He reported it to park employees.
And they kind of sound, oh no, really? Or that's not something, yes, that's not good. And so it sounded like, they were going to do something about it.
The park issued a statement saying safety is their top priority and rides are inspected daily. The park reopens tomorrow, but the slide will remain closed indefinitely.
Delta airline passengers still have a tough time getting around thanks to a computer outage. The company fixed the outage yesterday, but have still a lot to do. They had canceled nearly 400 flights and delayed 700 others today. Delta has offered refunds and $200 in travel vouchers to some flyers. We did check Bluegrass Airport and found a couple of delayed flights this afternoon. A group of cosmetology students wants to help children get ready for back to school. CTE College of Cosmetology in Winchester is giving school children free haircuts. The school expects to help as many as 300 students with the event.
Some of them come to school here and they want to just help. And so when you see these children come and get their hair cut and they've never had a haircut before, they've never even been talked to the way some of the students talked to them before, it lights up their eyes and they're ready to go back to school.
The school will be giving those free haircuts from 10:30 tomorrow morning until 3 in the afternoon. Concerned about the future of a program meant to help students from Eastern Kentucky go to college. What officials at the University of Kentucky are telling those enrolled on WKYT News at 5:30.
The problem sleep deprivation can cause for college students and why staying busy is good for older people. The story's next in Better Living. It is time now for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. College students head back to class soon. It won't take long for many of them to start sacrificing sleep for studying. Clark Powell looks at sleep deprivation on campus and how students can get better rest.
Ashley Chadwick knew coming into college that the courses would be challenging and her schedule would be hectic. What she didn't anticipate was how much she would have to accomplish with so little sleep.
I definitely pulled a few all-nighters before some midterms and the days pulling up to a midterm because you're just so busy and then a test comes and you'd rather get a good grade on that test than a good night's sleep the night before.
That's not uncommon. It's estimated that 70% of college students are sleep deprived, which has a wide range of effects.
Number one, it can affect how we perform in school. Number two, it can affect our immunity.
Dr. Anissa Doss is a sleep expert at the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center who often meets with students to offer tips for getting a good night's rest. She says a lack of sleep makes students more vulnerable to everything from infections to diabetes to high blood pressure. So getting a good night's sleep should be the first lesson you learn in college, and it starts with controlling light.
We want that room cool, dark, and quiet. And then when we wake up in the morning, when we have to shift our clock forward, try to get really bright light as soon as you wake up.
The one type of light you want to avoid at night is from electronics. Turn all screens off 30 minutes before bed and never fall asleep with a TV or a computer on.
That's actually one of the worst things you can do because that blue light that's emitted affects our ability to fall asleep.
Avoid relying on pills that help you sleep and coffee to help you stay awake. Both can mask sleep problems. If it's too loud, keep earplugs nearby, and if it's too hot, take a shower, but not a cold one.
Actually, taking a warm shower, as much as you can tolerate, 2 hours before bedtime so that as the body naturally cools down, it induces sleep.
Lastly, avoid all-nighters at all costs, because once you lose sleep, you never get it back. At Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, this is Clark Powell reporting.
Working or volunteering can keep older Americans healthy. A study looked at people ages 50 to 64 who worked or volunteered up to 100 hours a year. They found the group experienced a reduction in chronic conditions that limited function, such as the ability to walk or climb. Now, here's what's coming up for you at 5:30.